And Jesus came along and said, love everybody. You know, don't fuss about whether they love you or not, just love. That was the message. And so that was a great teaching that we're still working on. But in order to come to that level of humanity, we're going to have to release jealousy. We're going to have to release the concept, if you love me, you can't love them. I'm not suggesting that in partnerships that, you know, people can say, well, I love you all, so I'll have sexual contact with you all. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm suggesting that we love many people in many ways. And my relationship to you has nothing to do with my relationship to you. And so why are we saying, if you love her, you can't love her, you see? And so it's a very important conversation. If we could let go of love as the ticket to heaven, or the ticket to survival, or the way that we have value, we could actually love. Love is easy. It's innate in all humans. We love animals, they love us. We love people, they love us. Until we start going, I did that for you, now what are you going to give to me? And, oh, you didn't show me love, you did this. Instead of just sit for a moment and allow the love. Allow the energy of love to come to you. And you will discover that everyone you think doesn't like you actually loves you.
Chris, could you talk a bit about the effects of the electromagnetic frequencies? Because lately I've been around a lot of people who, you know, for example, as soon as they turn on a computer, they get really grumpy or get a headache or feel tired or, you know, have some kind of other little health you know, that's influenced by those frequencies. Yes. And I was just wondering if you could talk about how to balance that or
Great. Thank you so much. It's such an important conversation in the time of computers and in the time of electromagnetic fields, in the way that we're exposed to them in today's world because of all of our accoutrements, you know. The first thing I would say is that one of the things that we know scientifically is sit in front of a computer for 15 minutes, and your red corpuscles will clump. If your red corpuscles clump, they cannot pass the membranes into the cells, so the cells will not get oxygen. If the cells do not get the oxygen that the red corpuscles are carrying, you will feel anxious without any reason for it. You might feel grumpy or defensive or exhausted because your cells are actually exhausted because they're not getting it. So we need to become aware that all of these microwaves, etc., are influencing us. There are electromagnetic energies that are coming from the earth, that are coming from scientific laboratories. They are being projected. Many different governments have explored the use of electromagnetic energies to scramble people's consciousness, for example. Right now, we're using those in the ocean and causing terrible karma, I would have to say, terrible effects on whales and dolphins and animals that use sound. We're scrambling their brains. And so there can be no doubt about it. We're all being exposed to many different fields and levels of electromagnetic currents. We're getting more radiation coming into the planet. In this last month, I think about 3 weeks ago, we had such a solar storm. It was the most that we've had for many, many, many years. People were driving off the road. People are still driving off the road because almost every week there's another explosion, and the people that are watching the sun are saying, we've never seen things like this. And so, of course, there are northern lights and beautiful reactions to that, but with those northern lights are coming a profound increase in radiation that does affect us. So the first thing that I would say is becoming aware of those energies. Then we can place our body in the kind of frequency in which it can use those or not react to them, so that our corpuscles do not clump There are things that you can actually buy that unclump your red corpuscles in this world today. But for example, if you know you're going to go to the office and you're going to sit down and you're going to be on the computer for 2 hours, I would recommend spinning. Spinning to the right. When you spin to the right, you increase, like centrifugal force, your vibration and your auric field. When you strengthen your auric field so that the energy is spinning out from you, you will not be so receptive to experiencing damage from electromagnetic currents. So spinning around, some people use, what is that green stone?
Malachite?
Malachite, thank you. They use malachite. Some people put crystals. I don't recommend putting crystals because crystals amplify any energies there that are there, so they're not good protection. Malachite has been shown to be good for that. You want to really just set this consciousness that says, I will not take in any of those, or I will take it in a way that it serves me. We must, in fact, speed our vibration so that we can handle increased radiation on this planet, so that we don't get cancer, so that we don't destroy our bodies, but so that we can link up with these energetic changes, which will actually help our brains to be able to travel at the speed of light and pick up impulses and currents and information that we don't pick up today. It's interesting if you imagine how fast a computer functions. Well, who created computers? We humans created computers, and yet we sit there like dunces, you know, and expect the computer to do it all. We want to be faster than the computer. We can use the computer as our little droid to get information, but we don't want to fall prey to the frequencies that microwaves, that computers, that hair dryers, that televisions, that all electrical things create. And mostly that's about our consciousness. And it's really time for us to realize that we could walk into any area that where there is radiation, again, whether it's a television studio or whether it's, you know, Los Alamos, and have no harm done to our physiological body simply by quickening our frequencies. For example, bringing radiant light into your body will quicken your frequency so that your blood does not react in those ways. I think it's very important today. I spent the last 3 or 4 days with some people who have diseases in labs watching blood being taken. And it was very interesting to me to see what blood looks like when it's dirty, when it's filled with currents that poison it, toxins, all the pollutants that we have today. It turns black, just like a dirty water filter. It turns black, and that is not what we want, you know. So in 1,000 ways we could sit, and I think we'll perhaps do that meditation in a moment, just to look at your blood. You can get the information for yourself and see what it looks like. And is it, come in, is your blood showing you that it's got pollutants, or it's got toxins in it, or something that's causing it to be inharmonious or not nourishing your body? And then all you have to do is to bring light into that. And if that seems strange to you, think about how your dentist uses light to balance or do some miraculous thing in terms of caps or fixing a cavity. We use light in x-rays. We use light in 1,000 different ways, actually, in the medical world. But if there's nothing that is equal to you focusing on the light,